Welcome one, welcome all. This is your boy Darryl from the Infamous Podcast, and as promised, I'm here to give you my review on Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Now, not sure how many out there are Resident Evil fans. I used to be a Resident Evil fan, still am. I just don't play the games as this moment. This is something that I'm looking to change. But Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is a CG animated series. It's 4 25-minute episodes. It appeared last week on Netflix, July 9th, and it is actually takes place within the canon framework of Resident Evil. Before I get started on it, I'll give you a quick synopsis of what the story is about. This is from Wikipedia. Set between the events of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5, both of which are good games, or so I hear. The series takes place in 2006 after a hacking incident is uncovered at the White House. Leon S. Kennedy is ordered to investigate the incident, but he encounters zombies when the White House is targeted in a mysterious attack. He later meets Claire Redfield, who's been investigating a strange drawing made by a child refugee while working on a TerraSave-led mission to oversee construction of a welfare facility. So that is the gist of Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. Now, you do have some other main characters that are in there. One is Jason. He is the commander of the Mad Dogs, and he is referred to as the hero of Penestam, where some of these issues began taking place, I believe, 6 years prior to this story. And then you have Shin Mei, who is a partner of Jason, and what happens is it unfolds of how they know each other. A lot of the story is told, especially Jason's story, is told through flashbacks, which are very well done. And a lot of this, and I'll get into this later, a lot of this series actually plays out like a video game. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, before I talk about the story itself, I do want to talk about some of the visuals, the sound, and voice. From a visual perspective, as I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly when it refers to, in relation to a game. The action visuals are fantastic. The way the characters move and the way the monsters move are very fluid, and there's a level of weight into all the movements. Unfortunately, casual movements such as walking and when someone is talking in a more calm manner or casual manner, there's a stiffness about it that, again, if you watch CG cutscenes on many of these video games, even some of these PS4 games, I can't talk about the PS5 since I don't have one, but these PS4 games, you do have there's a stiffness when the characters move in a slow manner, when they're walking up steps or something along those lines. And these have the same issues. Facial emotion as well is stilted. It's almost like a mask is put on these characters, which it took a while to get used to, but once I was able to get used to it, kind of my brain adjusted, and I was fine watching it like that. Sound and voice, the ambient sound, and as far as what's going on in the background, the gunfire, again, just like the action visuals, are phenomenal. Where this will lose some people, and this is the same thing that happens with, say, an audiobook or other animations, is the voice acting. The voice acting is, there is a serious lack of emotion and depth in most of the voice actors. They're not terrible. They deliver their lines fine, but there's a lack of depth. And as I mentioned with the visuals, there's a fluidity and real weight to the action sequences. The voices are lacking that same weight. It almost feels as if it's the difference between, say, a 3D figure of something versus a 2D figure. The voices seem like they come in 2D. With that said, again, this is one of those things I tended to adjust to, even though at times it did take me out of what was going on. But the story itself is a fascinating entry into the Resident Evil franchise. It is a solid entry. It fits right in. It's eerie and action packed. It's something that, despite issues that I had with this story, or not with the story, but with the production as a whole, I didn't have a lot of issues with the story. Sure, just like Resident Evil, just like any other games of this ilk, there are places where it seems they skipped over a bit of the narrative to hurry up and get to the finale. I wish I would have liked this to have been maybe 20 minutes longer, maybe another episode. We often talk on this podcast about how, particularly my partner Brian, how a lot of movies could, cut 20 minutes easy. Or in the case of Loki, we even said, hey, that first episode, it could have been a 7-minute long, cold open for the second episode. It's just not a lot happened in that first episode. This is a case where I think 20 minutes of more storytelling, a little bit more background in the characters, would have made for a better event. With that said, I would recommend this to any fans of the Resident Evil franchise. And like I said a few weeks ago, with the PlayStation Now in my sights, funny enough, one of the first games I saw on there that they have is Resident Evil 4. They also have Resident Evil 5 as well. I'm looking forward to playing this. I think what I might do is play Resident Evil 4, watch this again, and then jump right into 5, just to see if it's the connective tissue that helps continue and helps with the canon of the Resident Evil franchise. Really interested to see if that changes my perspective on what I saw on Infinite Darkness. But until then, out of 10 hulked out T-Virus terrors, I will give Resident Evil Infinite Darkness a 6 out of 10. Once again, if you're looking for some of the action visuals, they're phenomenal from a CG perspective. The same thing with the gunfire. There's a scene where one of a group of individuals is attacked by zombies, and it is one of the most intense firefight scenes you could imagine. And I don't mean just in an animated show. It's intense for a Hollywood big budget movie. It was very well done. It really captured the intensity and the fear and the uncertainty of what would happen if you were attacked by zombies. Very well done. That is it. I didn't want to give too many points away from the story itself, so I will leave you with that. Once again, I give it a 6 out of 10. If you're a fan of Resident Evil, I highly recommend it. If you're not a fan of Resident Evil, if you're a fan of animated, give the first episode a shot, see what you think. Some people might tune it out after the first one. Others, like me, will watch it all the way through. If you liked what I had to say about Resident Evil, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side.